Retin Obasohan, senior guard. He's our team captain. Just graduated, finished his playing career, but obviously he's from Antwerp, Belgium. He's going to start with an opening statement, and then we'll have a microphone around. So if you have a question after his opening statement, just raise your hand. We'll get a microphone over to you. So I'm going to turn it over to Retin for an opening statement.
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to extend my prayers and my thoughts on my friends and family and just fellow people of my country, in Belgium. It's been tough just waking up and just hearing those stories because, yeah, our country's kind of on lockdown now. So it was tough to reach my parents, reach my family, reach my friends. But I was able to, and I'm grateful to hear that, most of them are doing good and they're safe and well and healthy. But it's a tough time, and it's not only a tough time, for me personally. It's not only a tough time for my family, my friends, but it's just a tough time for us as a country and us as a nation and us as a world. Attacks like this don't only affect the people that were afflicted or the families related to the people that got hurt, but it just affects us as a world. I think whenever things like this happen, we got two choices. We got either the choice to run to God or run away from God. And it's easy in the times of adversity, in the times that don't make sense or the times that don't align with what you believe, that you just want to run away from it. And I think just as people, as humans, we have to have faith. We have to have a certain belief in the goodness of humanity, in the goodness of just our people and our God. But with all that being said, that doesn't take away of the cruelty of whatever happened this morning. So my prayers are with him. It hurts. It hurts to hear stories like that. It hurts to have it happen to people that are close to me. But with that, my God is still good, and I still have faith in all the things that He has proclaimed in His Word. And with that, I'm just going to keep having faith, and I'm going to keep positive. So, yeah, with that.
Let's go and take questions. We'll start with Cecil, and then we'll go over here.
Retin, thank you for coming. How familiar was that scene to you? How many times have you departed at Brussels Airport?
Gosh.
Looking at that.
Honestly, probably over 15 times. So every time I fly here, I go through Zaventem, Zaventem Airport. So I've been there multiple times, and I know exactly where that American Airlines gate is, because that's the one that I take. So I'm very familiar with, the ins and outs of that airport.
Was that really? Obviously, it all was familiar to you, but was that, a special factor today when you're watching on television? You say, I've been there, I've been there.
Yeah, you definitely visualize, just seeing. You obviously want to kind of put yourself in that location at that time and just kind of see, like, okay, this is the path that, I walked, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however long it might have been. So to a certain extent, yes, I did visualize, just imagine, like, that is crazy to think that, a month from now, a year ago, basically, I was at that same airport arriving, so, yeah, that is crazy to think about.
Let's go over to the left side. Let's go, Mark.
Just to follow up, you said you were able to get in touch with your family and all your friends. Was
Yeah.
anybody injured or hurt or anything like that you know?
No, the only person that I know of that got hurt was a pro player. His name is Sebastien Belin. He plays for Ostend, I believe, and
Spell that last name. Do you know how to spell it?
Belin.
Okay.
Oh, so he got hurt, and I think his sister put out a statement saying that he had a surgery, I think a couple hours ago on his back, and that he's feeling well. Obviously, he still has some damage done to his legs, but more than anything, we're just happy he's okay. Happy that he's still alive, because it could have turned out a lot worse.
Go ahead, Alex.
Kind of expand on that. I mean, you do know people, you've been there. To think about, a terrorist attack happening where you've been and that kind of stuff. How difficult is that to kind of
Um,
stomach?
Gosh, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, just because it hits close to home. Brussels is only 30-minute drive away from my hometown. I've been there multiple times by myself, with my friends, with my family. But it's nothing. I say it's nothing new to a certain extent. There's people in the States, there's people in Paris, there's people in London, all over the world that have been in similar situations as me or worse. Where the friends and family was afflicted by terrorist attacks. And so yeah, I know it's difficult on me, but I know for a fact there's multiple people in this world that have it a lot harder. And those are the people that my thoughts go out to, my prayers go out to. And those are the people that, if they ever need anything, what I'm saying, those are the people I want to be there for. Because, all I can do from, a couple thousand miles away is just encourage them. So yeah, it's definitely tough.
Given that distance, kind of walk us through that this morning for you. You not waking up and hearing about this, not being able to get in contact, and who was the first person you actually got a hold of and were able to kind of make contact with?
The first person that I got a hold of was actually my best friend Oscar. He lives close to Brussels, so he was kind of right there and heard about it. Was one of the earliest people to hear about it. But when I actually started calling people, I noticed that my phone calls wouldn't go through. So I had to learn that they shut down cellular service around there. So I had to start calling through FaceTime and WhatsApp and stuff like that. And that's when I got a hold of my mom, my brothers, my friends, messaging them on Facebook and all that good stuff. And so I've been spending the last couple hours just reaching out anybody that I can think of possibly. Just hearing, are you okay? Are you safe? How's your family doing? How your friends doing? And as of right now, I've heard nothing but good things.
Over here, Michael.
It's not common to have a news conference about this kind of thing. For you, how important was it for you to want to speak up and give your point of view on this?
It was something I wanted to do. Aaron knows this, because I always believe, like I said, whenever adversity hits, you got two decisions. You either run away from God or you run to God. And this is just another opportunity just as a human race to kind of run to God, to know that our God is good, and regardless of how bad or how terrible these attacks were, there's always still a hope. I talked to my college pastor actually before I came here, just kind of get a word of advice, because trust me, it's the first time I've ever done a conference, a news conference like this. And I was just kind of asking him, like, how do you kind of deal with this? How do you prepare for, I guess, to stand up here and to just kind of share with you guys, what's on your heart and what's like weighing heavy on you. And he pointed me out to the story of Joseph in the Bible. And when he was telling me, the story of Joseph, basically, the story of Joseph is his brothers sell him into slavery, what I'm saying, because they wanted to kill him, and the oldest brother tells him not to. That's just kind of long story short, but at the end of the day, everything works out for him. And a verse that my pastor really pointed out to me was Genesis chapter 50:20, where Joseph tells his brothers, he says, you intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. And with that, I just want to encourage people to have the right perspective. I know this is painful, and I know a lot of people are hurt, and I know it's hard to see the good in tragedy. But I truly believe that even though whoever's responsible for this meant it for evil, our God will intend it for good. So that's my take on it. I don't want to force that upon everybody, but I'm just the type of person that has to believe that no matter how bad something might be or how bad something might get, I truly believe that at the end of the day, God can use that tragedy and turn it into good. So yeah, that's my take.
What was your reaction when you see political figures commenting on it? I know you responded to one this morning. What was your initial reaction when you saw that?
It wasn't anything more than what I said. I love my country. I love Brussels. I love Antwerp. I love every city in my country, and I've been all over the place. And I know as a citizen of Belgium, these are things that will only bring us closer together. These are things that would only unite us and make us stronger. Brussels is still a beautiful city. Tragedy is not going to change that. Adversity is not going to change that. If you take $100 bill and you wipe it in the mud, it doesn't lose its value. It's still a $100 bill. And that's what I believe with the city of Brussels and the country of Belgium, that regardless of the adversity or anything that we might go through, that doesn't take away who we are as a nation. That doesn't take away the beauty and I'll say just the honor that we have in our country.
Retin, I think it's fair to say most of us in this room don't have a great deal of knowledge about Brussels, but given the political hub that it is for the world, is this, God forbid, something that you feared or expected might happen in a city like this?
To a certain extent, you always fear things like that happening, because obviously those are things that are outside of your control. Yes, I do think that it doesn't help that, Brussels is the hub of the European Union and NATO and stuff like that. So that doesn't really help our case. But that happens to come with the responsibility that we have as, a nation. That comes with it. Once you're a big city and you have big political figures that fly in and out the country for, however important meetings, that makes you more susceptible to those attacks. But with all that being said, again, those are things that are outside of our control. So, okay, with it being Brussels, it could have been in any other city. Now that is Brussels, now we can kind of make that speculation. Does it have to do with the fact that it's a huge political hub? We don't know that. But I do know that it happened, and I do know that, from now on we got to move forward into being stronger, looking at it the right way, and just growing as a country.
Let's do a couple more questions.
Retin, any thoughts on when you may be returning back home, and just any concerns that you may have with that next trip, and also just how's your family doing right now when you finally were able to speak with them?
Yeah. As of right now, I can't fly in the country, so yeah, obviously, me flying back home will strongly depend on whenever they take away, the lock, off of flying in. So that'll strongly, affect when I get to go home. But no, I won't fly in fear. I won't live my life in fear. Because then again, the Bible says, saying He gave us the spirit of courage. So I'm not gonna live scared. I'm not gonna travel scared. I'm not gonna, fly back to Belgium scared. I'm not gonna drive my car to the gym scared. I'm gonna live with a confidence that, whatever happens was meant to happen, and regardless of what happens, and God will intend that for good. So, my family's good. My family's safe, feeling well. It's good to see my, my brothers and my mother and my father smile, when I was talking to them. So yeah, everybody's good, and I'm happy to hear that.
Go up to the front, back up to Alex, and we'll have one more after that.
Just want to ask, your family was here recently, right? I guess your brothers were even here this weekend, and then they flew back themselves, right?
Oh, that was, I think, about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. I
Yeah.
apologize. Okay. So, just thinking about the fact that they travel as much as they, does that at all, affect you?
Again, you want to say it doesn't, but you can't help but think about it. But yeah, it's crazy to think that my parents and my family were here just only a couple weeks ago. So I'm glad they made it back safe. But an even crazier story is one of my best friends. So just to kind of explain that connection, flew in like at midnight. So just a couple hours later, and that could have been a complete tragedy. So there's a lot of people that kind of escaped it, whatever happened. But yeah, I won't let it affect me. Obviously, nobody can travel as of right now. But once they lift the ban and people can start moving in and out, I know security will increase, so it will take a little longer to get in the country. But I'll be flying, just comfortably, safe and sound, just ready to go see my family.
in kind of a broader picture, this is the second time we've spoken to you about terrorism this year and really this season. You know, when you think about kind of the broader impact and what does that do for you? I mean, does that, when you think about all the terrorist attacks that have been happening more recently, ISIS and some of those, you know, organizations out there that are willing to kind of go that far, what does that do for you?
More than anything, it just want to make me help. You know, I think I watched a press conference by Obama where he said, as a world, we need to unite against terrorism, and I couldn't agree anymore. What that might entail, you know, that's above my pay grade. You know, so, but I do believe that, you know, that violence is not the option. I don't believe in hurting people. I don't believe in hurting innocent people. But not everybody believes what I believe in, and I understand that. But what I do understand is that as a world, we can't continue hurting people. That's not what we're put on this earth to do. And as you can see, it doesn't help us. So however we have to fix that, however we can come to a unified decision on realizing we need to start loving other people, that as soon as you decide to help somebody, they will want to help you back, and that the best things that you can achieve in life are done in the form of relationships, not wars. I think that's when we'll start moving into prosperity. I think that's when we'll start moving into just growing as human beings and growing as a world. But as long as we keep thinking that violence is the answer, I mean, there's not much I can say or do. You know, I'll keep preaching love, you know, because I truly believe love is probably your greatest weapon, more than anything. It's hard to hurt somebody that loves you when you know that they love you. It's hard to do that. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's the world that we live in, and all that we can do is trying to impact, you know, our circle of influence to the best of our abilities, and hoping that it just trickles down to higher positions and even lower positions.
And let's do the last question, way in the back.
I'm not sure if you knew this, but a recent terror suspect who many believe was involved in the France or the Paris terror attack a couple of months ago was captured in Belgium. And apparently he was being hidden in neighborhoods for months up until this past weekend.
Yeah.
Can you just kind of talk in general, how do people in Belgium feel about America and the West and the American way of life, and I guess to a certain extent, how some of our allies like France and other European nations are having to deal with the threat of terrorism as a result?
I mean, I want to say, we like the States. You know what I'm saying? I'm here because I like the States. You know, I don't have anything against the States. And that's something that, you know, as a country, you know, just the people that are with me, you know, the people that I've talked to, they don't have anything against the States. They don't have anything against France, Germany, or the U.S. allies. But more than anything, the threat of terror is not limited to the U.S. and its allies. You know, and I think we've seen that you know, it's a worldwide issue. So, you know, with that, it becomes a worldwide problem. And I think the only way to solve a worldwide problem is to come up with a worldwide solution. So that brings me back again to, you know, Obama's statement where it says, as we got to unite against terrorism, you know, as a nation, as a world. And then I agree with that. But yeah, again, that's above my pay grade.
All right, thank you all for showing up today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.